Everyone, thanks so much for jumping in and watching today. My name is Travis, for those of you who may not know me, and I get to be the General Baptist Vice President for Church Health. And so if you were to hear chickens and roosters going off, I'm in my backyard today. It's actually a little overcast and a little cooler here in Tennessee, and so it's kind of nice. And so I thought I'd come outside and shoot a quick video for you. And so many of you probably clicked on this video maybe because it said something like, pastor, maybe you're part of the problem, right? And it's and really that kind of subject line is a hook, and it's a hook to get your attention and to get you to click. And so hopefully it worked. And many of you are going to watch this because I think what I'm going to share with you today is going to be important, because it's something that I see over and over and over again within churches and with leaders, and it becomes what I'm going to talk about today, it becomes a lid to your leadership. It becomes a lid to your church and the size of your church and how much it can grow and that type of stuff. And so I think it's really important. And here's what kind of brought me to this topic. I believe it was yesterday, or it might have been a couple of days ago. I asked the question to one of my coaching groups. I asked the question about Sunday night service, and how many of you have Sunday night service, and what are your responsibilities on Sunday night? And a lot of churches, they don't have Sunday night service anymore, but many of them do. It's probably maybe 50-50, something like that, for the churches that are a part of that group. And so I asked that question. And so for the ones who said that they did have Sunday night service, they said for the majority of them, over 50% of them, said that they're either preaching on Sunday nights, they're preaching a new message, or maybe they're leading a Bible study, and it's something like that. But either way, if it's either one of those things, the key thing that I wanted to bring up, because again, we see this over and over and over again, is that it's them, it's the pastor, or I think in that case it's always the pastor, or the leader, who is always kind of that main person who's either leading that service, doing that Bible study, whatever it might be. And I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to get to a spot within your leadership, within your pastorate. I think it's really important where you start to hand off a few things, where you start to get let others try things. And so, and it doesn't matter. This isn't about Sunday night service. It's really about delegation and allowing others to step into spots, whether it's a Bible study, whether it's a Sunday school class, whether it's preaching, whether it's a serving opportunity, whatever it might be, allowing others to be in leadership roles or to lead that, whatever that thing is. That it doesn't always, and here's the key, that it doesn't always have to be you, right? I think sometimes we think that when we're the pastor, all those things have to be, like, we have to lead all those things. It has to be us up on stage behind the pulpit. It has to be us leading the adult Bible school class, because for some reason we think it's either our sole responsibility, it's part of our job, it's whatever, or we just think maybe somebody can't do it as good as we can. They don't know as much about the Bible, and really that just kind of feeds into that belief. And what happens is when we've never handed those things off, we never give others opportunities to do some of those things, it creates this it does create this culture within the church that right, it's almost like only the pastor can do ministry, like only the pastor can lead a Bible study, only the pastor can lead this community outreach. It's always it starts it creates that culture. And so, and here's a big issue with it, and here's what you'll see over and over and over again. Most people in churches, most of your congregants, they will be happy to let you lead all of that stuff. They'll be happy to let you do everything, right? generally you're not going to get any pushback from your congregation if you volunteer to do. You're going to do the Sunday morning preaching. You're going to do Sunday night. You're going to lead the Bible study. You're going to lead the prayer meeting. You're going to do Wednesday night Bible study or small group or whatever it might be. Like, you're going to mow the lawn. You're going to clean the weeds. You're going to do the painting that needs to be painting. You're going to clean up the bathrooms or whatever it might be. You're not going to get any pushback or complaining for doing that. And in many cases, people will praise you, and they'll think, "Man, what a great pastor we have." And here's just the truth of the matter is that when you don't allow others to take on some of those responsibilities, you hold them back and their leadership back and the gifts that God has given them. You're not giving them an opportunity to use those gifts. And many times you may say, well, you know what, we've tried to open it up and we've tried to, offer to let other people either lead Sunday school classes or take charge of this event or whatever it might be, and nobody really wants to step into it and all that type of stuff. And like, I get that, but that's not the way you do it. That when you're looking for somebody to lead something, you don't just do a sort of open floor. We're going to just open it up in front of the entire congregation. Hey, if somebody wants to lead a Sunday school class, no, you have to be very intentional about who you ask to lead these things. You're going to be very intentional. It's got to be somebody who you trust, somebody that you've been pouring into, somebody you've been discipling. We've been talking a lot about discipleship here recently as churches and pastors and leaders, and how we need to get back to discipling people and how we want our churches to be churches that disciple people. And it starts with us as pastors. Like, we have to be willing to disciple people, and part of that discipling process is that we walk with people for so long and we allow them to watch us do it. But at some point, you have to hand that off to others and allow them to go out and do it themselves. And so I want to really encourage you, if this is you and this is where you're at. There's a car going by, so I'm going to pause for a second. But if this is you, and you're in the spot where you're kind of leading and you're in charge of everything, I want to highly encourage you to find, maybe it's one or two people within your church that you can just ask. It doesn't have to be that you're going to hand off every Sunday night to them, or or you're going to hand off the entire Sunday school class to them or anything like that. But I do want you to start allowing them, start giving them chances. And so maybe it's, hey, one Sunday night a month, why don't you lead the Bible study or the Sunday school class? I think for many pastors, it would be great if you actually do allow someone else to lead the Sunday school class. You're already going to be preaching a message that morning. You already have enough on your plate. And plus, if you're going to do Sunday morning, you're doing the message, and then you're going to come back a Sunday night and do another message. Like, you really, you really need to be delegating some of that. And you really need to be giving other people the opportunity to see what kind of gifts that they have and to allow them to grow into those gifts. If we don't do that, the church just, it doesn't grow in maturity because people, again, aren't getting to use their gifts. And it also doesn't grow in number because it all relies upon you as the pastor. And if you're always the one who's everything falls upon, it's kind of like the story of Moses in the Old Testament, where everybody had to come to Moses, right? And his father-in-law steps in and says, like, this is crazy. Like, why are you doing this? This is not sustainable. Like, you can't do this. You need to pick some able-bodied men who can handle some of the other responsibilities, some of the smaller stuff. Hey, we're still going to bring the big stuff to you, but you need to allow some of these other people to start taking on some of these responsibilities. And I think that's the same case for many pastors watching this, listening to this. And so I want to encourage you, allow others to have some of those opportunities. All right? Thanks so much for watching. If I can help you in any way, please don't hesitate. Send me a reply and let me know. Hope you all have a great week.